Hi there, this is Bill again, the BilroCAD tutorial for Autocad, and in the last lesson we just made that into a block. Just going to show you very quickly that once you've got a block you can edit that block very easily by right clicking. Emphasis is on right click, and that's the name of the block that we're going to edit. And you'll see everything else is grayed out and sort of forgotten about, and all we're concentrating on is this block. So say for instance we want to issue the stretch command and make this block say another 50 millimeters longer. So we go S for stretch on our command line, and it issues the stretch command. I put my cursor up towards the right, one click with the left mouse, and then down there, and one click with the left mouse again, and hit enter and pull it along. Now see, it's not wanting to go nice and horizontal. That's because my ortho mode is not on, so we could turn that on, and now you can see that is now doing it correctly. And with this command you can enter what is called direct distance entry, which is very wonderful. So we want it to go 50, so all you do is type 50 and hit enter. So you can see now that if we measure that from there to there, it is 200 there. Press escape a couple of times. Now, if we right click, we choose close ref edit session, and we save the reference edits. And it says, oh, we're going to do a save. Great. Okay. Now, then you'll see that is changed to be the same as that one there. That is because that is a block, and you can tell there's the name of it down there, and if we close over to here, it should still read footplate because they're both reading footplate. One of the nice handy things about selecting two blocks like that is that it'll tell you how many blocks you have up in here. So if you've got a lot of nuts and bolts or something like that, sometimes it's handy to have. Okay, now I'm going to create a block with attributes. Very, very simple thing. For instance, you might have a little tag and you want to have the same text in that tag all the time. So we'll just create a little rectangle, and we were going to go up to draw blocks. Where's block? It's got block at define attributes. So we call the tag, we might call it pipe number. Pipe number. Always make it all one. Don't put any spaces in that one. And this one here you can. Pipe number. And the default might be 33. And we've got text settings down here, text height, and so on and so forth. Don't have to worry about all this unless you want to get all classy and do something completely different. And there it is. So you can see that you can hardly read that, so maybe we want to make that a bit bigger. We could go into the Properties Manager and we could make the height 10. And we hot point that point, turn off Ortho by pressing F8. And then we've got that down there. We could have another attribute, so we just go through the same process again. Define attributes. Tag might be level. Prompt be level. And the default might be 0.00. And again, we could change that here and now to 10, so that it comes out a bit better. And there we are. We've got a nice little tag ready to go, ready to be made into a block, which we go B for block, and this dialog comes up, and we call this level tag. So you see you can put spaces in here. Now the base point we could have just there, and the objects. Now the important thing about these attributes is that you pick them in order that you want them to appear on when they come up. in a editing dialog box. So you pick that one first and that one second and all the bits second, third. So it's fine, we've got a pick point, we've got our objects, don't need to do any more. Okay. And immediately it comes up, oh, do you want to edit the attributes? And we'll just cancel out of that one. So we have a block, that's a block, and we can CO for copy, pick that block over to there. We've got another block, the same thing. But if we go ATE, attribute edit, pick on the block, and it comes up with this edit attributes. So you could see that this would work for title blocks, works for lots of things. So you might want that to be 66, and you might want the level to be 0.115. And there it changes. You see the relationship to the box is nicely kept. So if you wanted something nicely formatted, it's the way to go. I can move that down there. It's just all by itself. Okay, the next thing I'd like to cover is point filters. Point filters, you can draft your whole life in 2D without ever using point filters. For instance, if you wanted this block here to be nice and level, that middle of that, level with the middle of that, you could do this. You could go move, info move, pick that, and then move again. Get your ortho on wherever it's going out there. So that is in line with that. Yes, you can do that. Let's move it up again. Right, but if we wanted to do it using point filters, we go M for move again. Oops, M for move, pick that. Our base point is that, and we want the dot Y of, hit enter, of this point here, the midpoint of that there. And we pull it down, and see it wants to go down as far as, see, it doesn't really matter where we pick out here, it picks to the right place. As you can see, the middle of that and the middle of that are in line. Okay, I'll show you this. Say we want to move the middle of that to the middle of that on the X direction. M for move, hit enter, midpoint of that, dot X of the middle of that. A good way to remember this is to use the phrase, we are only interested in the X. So that was, we're only interested in X, enter dot X. If you're interested in Y, enter dot Y. Now, we are going to have a quick look at all the major buttons that we haven't covered. I feel like I've covered line and polyline sufficiently for an introduction. I haven't by any means gone into all the whys and wherefores of polylines. They just go on, and normally you don't need to worry about that particular side of things. Okay, so we'll try a circle. We have done a circle over here. Try again. You can, if you wanted, see, enter the radius of the circle or the diameter. So if you wanted to enter the diameter of the circle, you hit D for diameter, hit enter, and it's now saying what do you want for the diameter. So we set 50 for our diameter. Let's just check that is 50 from there to there. It is. Okay. Right, rectangle, we've got polygon. Polygon, it's pretty easy, it's just like a rectangle. You pick a point, no you don't, you have to enter the number of sides first. So say for instance you're drawing a nut, you have to enter 6 sides, pick the center, and whether it's inscribed or circumscribed, say C for circumscribed, and say for instance our width across flats was 17, but it's doing the radius, so half of 17 is 8.5, so we've drawn an end of an M10 nut in theory. from there to there, 17 millimeters, or 10 bolt. Ellipses, well, they're pretty damned easy to do. You can choose whichever option you want and just squeeze it up and down. Draw an ellipse is fairly easy. Hatching, easy, pretty easy at this stage. You go hatch and you choose your pattern, and your pattern is, you can choose from lots and lots of patterns. So for instance, we chose herringbone. We choose that one, and that doesn't look like a herringbone, does it? And that's because the scale is not very good. It should be nearer about, say, let's change it to 10. Won't let us change it to 10, yes it will. 10, that's not very good either. So let's go the other way, 0.1. 0.1. That's a better scale to get that to appear. You can do the angle of it. You can change the angle, and it'll change the angle of the hatch. You can change the layer. You want to change it to change it to a different color. You can change it to different colors. Usually you should always stick to by layer as a means of doing business, because you'll find that you'll want to work with layers, not against them. And the minute you start having color just by color, then that's really annoying, because you can't tell which layer is on which, and it just gets really confusing. Another hatch pattern you can have is gradient. You can change it to gradient, and you can fiddle around with all that, and it's heaps of fun. You can change it to solid, which is nice. It's handy. They call it a pattern. It's an option up there. So we'll close hatch creation. Now we've finished doing hatches. The move command, I've covered that extensively. The copy, the stretch. If I explode this block, if I go X for explode and pick that block and hit enter, see how our attributes will come back. Don't make the mistake ever that this is text. It's not. It's an attribute. So what people tend to do is they go, "Ooh, properties. I know. I'll change the text on that to something different. I'll change that to goo." All right. So and they go, "Okay." And they think they're altering text. They're not altering text. They're altering an attribute definition. So naughty, don't ever do that. If you want to do text, you go TEXT for ordinary common garden text, and it says height is 10 mil, rotation that, and we say well, and hit enter and enter again. There's a piece of text. If we enter T at the keyboard, you get M text, which is another little beastie that does text like this, where it's a multi-line thing, and you can do wonderful things like highlight it and have it so that it's center formatted or whatever you like, and you have endless fun doing that sort of thing. So now what I was going to do, the stretch command, stretch. No, won't do it. Should do. Stretch. It does do it. So it's stretching it that way. Okay. Thank you.